What happens when one of the PGA Tour's most influential voices begins questioning the future of the tour's competitive system? Rory McIlroy has never been afraid to speak honestly about the direction of professional golf, whether the topic involves LIV golf, scheduling, player commitments, or the future of the PGA Tour itself. Now, fresh speculation is growing after reports that Rory has raised concerns about a proposed relegation model that could dramatically change how players keep their tour status. While social media headlines claim Rory McIlroy is directly challenging Brian Rolapp's new relegation rule, the real story goes much deeper. This isn't simply about one player disagreeing with one executive. It's about a growing debate over whether the PGA Tour can modernize without sacrificing the merit-based system that has defined professional golf for generations. Before we dive into today's story, welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy breaking PGA Tour news, exclusive golf updates, and behind-the-scenes analysis of the biggest stories in professional golf, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications because we bring you every major development shaping the future of the game. Since Brian Rolapp became the PGA Tour's new CEO, expectations have been incredibly high. His reputation as one of the NFL's top executives convinced many that he could guide professional golf into a stronger commercial future. Better media deals, stronger sponsorships, bigger global audiences, and a more competitive product were all part of the vision that surrounded his arrival. But with every major change comes difficult decisions, and few ideas have generated more discussion than the possibility of introducing a more aggressive relegation system within the PGA Tour. For years, earning and keeping a PGA Tour card has been one of the toughest challenges in professional sports. Every season, players battle through dozens of tournaments, knowing that one hot stretch can transform a career, while a poor season can send them back to qualifying events. That pressure has always existed, but recent conversations suggest the tour could consider adjustments that make maintaining playing privileges even more competitive. Supporters believe such a system would increase intensity every single week. Every tournament would matter. Every FedEx Cup point would become more valuable. Fans would have meaningful storylines throughout the season, not just at the top of the leaderboard, but also among players fighting to keep their careers alive. From a business standpoint, higher stakes often create greater excitement. But critics see another side of the argument. Many players believe the current system is already demanding enough. Life on the PGA Tour isn't simply about showing up and playing golf. Professional golfers spend nearly every week traveling across the country, working with coaches, fitness trainers, sports psychologists, caddies, and support teams. Expenses continue rising while competition becomes stronger every year. For players outside the world's top 20, the margin between success and losing full playing status can already be incredibly small. Adding even greater relegation pressure, some believe, could make the tour less stable for players trying to establish long-term careers. That's where Rory McIlroy's reported concerns have attracted so much attention. Throughout his career, Rory has consistently supported change when he believed it improved professional golf. He supported many efforts to strengthen the PGA Tour during the battle with LIV golf and repeatedly emphasized the importance of keeping the world's best players competing together. At the same time, Rory has also argued that every major structural change should protect competitive fairness. According to discussions surrounding the tour's long-term planning, several players continue asking whether an expanded relegation model could unintentionally create too much pressure on middle-ranked professionals while benefiting only a small group of established stars. Think about a young player who finally earns his PGA Tour card after years of competing on developmental tours. Instead of focusing entirely on improving his game, he may spend every tournament worrying about keeping his job. That kind of pressure already exists. The question is whether increasing it actually improves the product, or simply makes professional golf more difficult for players trying to build successful careers. It's important to understand exactly what has been confirmed. Despite dramatic headlines circulating across social media, there has been no official announcement confirming that Rory McIlroy has publicly rejected a finalized Brian Rolapp relegation rule. Likewise, the PGA Tour has not announced a new relegation policy carrying Rolapp's name. What has been widely discussed is that the tour continues evaluating future competitive models and players, including Rory, have consistently emphasized the importance of protecting fairness as those conversations continue. That distinction matters. Healthy debate should never be confused with open conflict. In fact, many of the PGA Tour's most successful reforms have been improved because players challenged ideas before they became official policy. FedEx Cup adjustments evolved through player feedback. Signature events were modified after discussions with competitors. Scheduling changes have often reflected player input. Constructive criticism has always been part of professional golf's decision-making process. Brian Rolapp understands that better than most. Coming from the NFL, he knows successful sports organizations don't simply announce change, they build support for it. Listening to players isn't a weakness, it's an essential part of effective leadership. Rory McIlroy also understands what's at stake. As one of the game's biggest stars, his comments influence not only fellow professionals, but also fans, sponsors, and broadcasters around the world. When Rory speaks about the future of golf, people pay attention because they know his opinions are usually based on years of competing at the highest level. That's why every discussion involving Rory and Brian Rolapp immediately becomes headline news. Not because the two men are necessarily in conflict, but because both represent important voices in shaping the future of the PGA Tour. As professional golf continues evolving after years of unprecedented change, disagreements over policy should be expected. The tour is balancing commercial growth, player satisfaction, television audiences, sponsor expectations, and competitive integrity all at the same time. There will inevitably be different opinions about the best path forward. The real test isn't whether everyone agrees. The real test is whether leadership and players can continue working together to build a stronger PGA Tour without losing the principles that made it the world's premier professional golf organization. One thing is certain, the conversations taking place today won't just affect next season. They could influence how professional golf operates for the next decade. Now we'd like to hear from you. Do you believe the PGA Tour should introduce a tougher relegation system to increase competition, or should the current pathway remain largely unchanged? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications because we'll continue bringing you every major PGA Tour story as it develops. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.